This is the Productivity Podcast with Timothy and Dika.
Hey there, welcome to Productivity Podcast with Timothy and Dika, where we get to share ideas and tools on personal and organizational productivity. So 2 weeks ago, we began a series on finding purpose, and we said that purpose is the reason why a thing exists in a place. And we shared 4 keys to finding purpose, which are pain, problems, potential, and people. So in this episode, we are going to share the last 2 keys to finding purpose, which are prayer and personal development. To explain these last 2 points, I'm going to retell a story I've shared over and over again. In 2019, that marks the turning point of my life was when I encountered my first official mentor, Pastor Jennifer. She met me when I was in 100 level at a classroom called Pavilion 3 at the University of Calabar, Nigeria, and she preached to me from a scripture that later became my favorite Bible verse. That's Jeremiah 29 verse 11, and it says, "For I know the thoughts I think towards you, said the Lord. They are thoughts of good, not of evil, to give an expected end." What that scripture meant to me and still means to me is that God has a plan for my life. God has a purpose for my life. God has an intention for my life, and it applies to you too. You don't even have to be a Christian to understand this basic thing, okay? You just need to believe that there is a God that created you, right? And if God created you, then He knows what He created you for. He knows what He designed you for. He knows what He sent you to earth for. Just the same way a manufacturer of a product knows best what he intends that product to be used for, that's the same way God knows best what He intends you to be doing with your life. Even before He made you, He already had this purpose in mind. Like He told the Jeremiah guy in chapter 1 verse 5, "Before I formed you, I knew you." Before you were even born, right? God knew what He wanted you to do. So now that you're alive, the best thing that you can do to discover your purpose in life is to be as close to God as possible. And that's what prayer does. Prayer is communicating with God. The more you communicate with God, the more He's going to reveal things to you about yourself, what you should do, where you should go. He's going to guide you to fulfill purpose. So the last point is personal development. How does personal development play a role in finding purpose? I'll tell you now. Personal development has 2 parts, personal and development, right? The word develop means to uncover, just like the word envelope means to cover up, right? So in the process of personal development is self-discovery. What that means is that the more you invest in yourself to upgrade your knowledge, character, and skills, the more you are going to discover purpose. You're going to discover things you never knew about yourself. So if you are taking a new course, listening to a podcast, reading a book, attending a conference or a webinar, you are going to discover things about you that you never knew were even there. And that's how personal development plays a role in finding and fulfilling purpose. And I remember back then in 2019, where Pastor Jennifer used to encourage me to prioritize my personal development. She gave me 2 books that I can remember. She gave me Created for Distinction by Pastor David. She gave me 10 Laws of Leadership by Bill Newman, and she encouraged me to take trainings and other things. So if you employ these 2 keys, you are going to inevitably walk in purpose, prayer and personal development. So with this, we've come to the end of the series on finding purpose. If you're listening to this on Spotify, do well to follow. If you're listening to this on YouTube, do well to subscribe. And I really am grateful to those that are sharing our content out there. So I come your way next time. I'm Timothy Ndika, and this was the Productivity Podcast. Bye.